everyone doing tonight? Are we all here? Are we all here for a crab? Is everyone here for a crab tonight? And an elephant live with some very, 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 very special guests tonight. Did everyone get these little pieces of paper at the door? We have a crab questionnaire tonight. It's very, very important. We're trying to take a poll. We want to know what people are doing out there. My name is David, and I'm kind of inundated by Fringe artists every year. And we're running this event called the C.R.A.B. Does anyone out there not know what C.R.A.B is? You don't know what C.R.A.B is? Okay, it's a small creature that walks on. No, it's C.R.A.B means constantly risking absurdity, baby. And it's about independent art in the community, independent art out in your community, in Boulder or wherever. There's actually quite a bit of fringe movement across the globe right now in Europe, in Southeast Asia, across the United States. Wow, it's kind of hard to talk with this thing in here. It's cool. There's a table up, in case anyone didn't notice. There's a fringe all over the United States and across Canada, and there's about 30 of them in North America. I have an itch on my nose. I'm just checking to see if everyone's awake. We do these events, the C.R.A.B event, every third Thursday, and it's basically a chance to see what's going on in the community. And this week we have a really dynamic night. I'm really looking forward to seeing everything. We have musicians, we've got clowns, we have a monstrosity over here. And then there's a big machine behind him. Still. And we've got a lot of great things tonight, so stick around. And I just wanted to make a couple announcements as we start. One is to fill out these little square forms if you've got them. If you don't have them, they're at the table back there. And also, this is a really important C.R.A.B for us because we're just approaching a deadline. We have the Fringe Festival is in August, and in order to be a part of the Fringe Festival, there's an application process, and we take applications for just about anything that's going on in the community. There are this dance, theater, clown, storytelling, puppetry, writing, readings, and there's, if you haven't checked it out already, it's boulderfringe.com, go online and check it out. And I was checking out last night, I went through my computer device sitting on my desktop at home, this digital device that we use to create community these days. It's called a computer. And I was sitting in front of that thing last night, and I looked at, I happened to kind of look up Google. I Googled apply, apply, like what's out in the world to apply for right now. Apply for this or apply news, what's in the news for to apply for. And I found that there's a lot of colleges are enrolling right now. So I wanted to make that general announcement that colleges are enrolling right now, and they're encouraging people to apply for financial aid. And they're also encouraging people to apply for their colleges, one of which is the BFA program in Europa, right? Yeah. And Mary Kelly, she's going to be up here in a few minutes, and she's going to be coming to the BFA program at Europa. And I also read this. I came across Apply Current. That's Apply, this is the headline. Apply Current, Boost Brain Power. And I thought, well, that's an interesting application. Sending a weak electrical impulse through the front of a person's head can boost verbal skills by as much as 20%, according to a new study by U.S. National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. So in the study, researchers at the Institute asked 103 volunteers, that's not 102, not 104, 103 volunteers, exactly, to recall as many words that begin with a particular letter as possible. The researchers then passed a 2 milliamp current 1/10 of what is needed to power a small LED light. They attached this to the volunteers' foreheads. And then the only side effect that was reported was itching or fizzing sensation around the scalp where the electrode was attached. And the findings could lead to new drugless treatments for the symptoms of brain. So this is like really happening. They're starting to use electricity to shock people into good health. And which brings me to my point. There's other ways to shock people into good health. One of them is creativity and your community. And there's lots of things you can do to shock people into good health. I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but I think we have a show that's going to start to exemplify that for you. So I want to welcome you all to come out tonight, and let's give it up for everyone that's showing up here tonight. So I'd like to introduce our first act, Mary Kelly, and she's a newly local Boulderite, and she's going to be attending the Naropa BFA in the fall, right? And she's going to do some monologues. Mary Kelly.
One monologue. It's from a one-woman show I just actually recently finished last week, so very exciting. And the show's called Without Youth Like You, and so far it consists of about 8 monologues. But I'm working on it. There might be more, there might be less, who knows what will happen. But yeah, and it basically tracks the course of a young girl between the ages of 9 and 21. And you get glimpses of her throughout her life. And this is the opening monologue to Without Youth Like You. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut and go to space, like to the moon, but not the moon. The moon is ugly and boring, and I don't want to go there because people have already been there. I mean, if we're going to bother going all the way into space, we might as well go someplace nobody has ever been. It doesn't make any sense to go someplace someone has never been. Duh. I want to be an astronaut and go to space because I want to go to the stars. Not the moon or other planets, just the stars. And my daddy, he's a really smart man. He owns his own company and stuff. And he told me that stars are made of fire. But I know he's wrong. Because Miss Bradley told us about fire and oxygen. See, I remember, Miss Bradley, I remember when you told us that last week after recess, after I was playing kickball, you told us that you can't have fire without oxygen. And if you can't breathe in space, that means there's no oxygen. Duh. I want to be an astronaut and go to space and see the stars because I think unicorns live on the stars and I want to see a unicorn. Because they're beautiful and they're magical and there's no way they're just made up. Unicorns are made of wishes and people wish on stars. So I think unicorns must then live on stars. Hey. Hey. Why are you laughing at me? Miss Bradley, they're laughing at me. They're acting like my dad. And I told him I wanted to go to the stars. He told me to stop being childish. And I told him I was a child, so I could be childish, duh. And that was yesterday when I was only 8 3/4, and today I'm 9. And you asked me to make a speech because it's my birthday, and everybody makes a speech about what they want to be when they grow up on their birthday. And now they're laughing at me. But I don't care. Because I'm not 10 yet, and you're not old till you're 10, and I still want to see the unicorns on the stars. Well, why not? Why can't there be unicorns on stars? You've never been there, either has anyone else, so there. Fine. Maybe it is stupid. Maybe they are big balls of fire. Still, you shouldn't laugh at me. You shouldn't laugh at me either, Miss Bradley. It's okay. I'll just be a nurse like Suzanne. Nobody laughed at Suzanne, Miss Bradley. I don't even like stars. I really don't. Thank you. I was.
This is the part of the evening where I ask you a question. Yeah. Hold on, let me think of a question.
I'll think of an answer and maybe you'll be the right answer.
Okay. Get ready to say the answer. Ready? At the same time. 1, 2, 3. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Was that really the answer?
That wasn't.
So you're going to the BFA program?
Yeah.
And are you going to perform this work before that?
I am actually hoping on it. Like I said, I just recently finished the show, so I'm looking on a place to perform it, but I'm thinking it in Europa somewhere. Yeah, so.
Well, thank you very much for coming up. I guess, I think we have to move on really quickly.
On stage.
Yeah, I think we have. Ladies and gentlemen, Olivia. Wow. But thanks anyway. I hope you'll come back someday. So I guess that was Olivia. I'm not sure if that's her real name, but that's what she looks like to me. She looks like Olivia. So I have another special guest this evening coming over from the co-op. And this is, we're kind of forcing an issue tonight. We're forcing the issue of creativity in the community. Because I think, when people think of like creativity, they think of art, right? Does anyone have a different sense of creativity out there? Like where do we put creativity? Come on, give me some feedback.
Everywhere.
Everywhere? Where do you see creativity happening in the town? People riding their bikes on the Boulder cruiser ride. So the next guest tonight is going to be the cruiser ride. It's going to come right in this door. No, that's just my imagination. So yeah, cruiser ride. And where else? Anything else? Creativity, community?
Begging signs.
Huh?
Begging signs.
Pegging signs.
Begging signs.
Oh, begging signs. Begging signs. And people asking for money. People asking for money. So, well, this next guest doesn't have too much to do with begging signs or the cruiser ride, but she's going to be coming up talking about food and how food can enhance the creativity of your community. So ladies and gentlemen, Indira.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Whatever's comfortable to me. Does anybody have a bed? A couch? A couch will do. I'm trying to think of what's comfortable.
Everything is comfortable when you are in the zone.
Indira, so you're coming to us through this particular permutation, this particular aspect of your life is associated with the Boulder Co-op Market.
Yes.
And you are here to kind of just get a little bit more engaged in the community and see what's going on. And we met and we did an Elephant Live over at the Co-op a week ago. Was it a week ago?
Yes, exactly. Friday morning, last Friday morning.
And it's posted on YouTube.
Yes.
I think you could search it by typing in Elephant Live YouTube. We've been getting involved because there's
We did a panel discussion. We had 4 representatives of the community and it was excellent. We had a gentleman from relocalization and he talked about why the co-op can be a big asset for relocalization. Now I don't know how many people know this word, relocalization. Well, it's a new group, it's a new kid on the block to bring the community together. And how we can survive when the peak oil and the food and our needs are not met. How the community come together to really survive as we really walk into the 21st century and with all the problems that we are facing. And I must thank, let me thank our David here to invite me and be in the presence of all of you. It's my privilege and my honor to be here. And what I'm sharing with you is the theme of tonight is that we are one. Now you can challenge me on that, so I can give you a theoretical framework that when I'm saying we are one, what does that mean? But I think that I need David to just come and be with me and we are one. This is a start. And then he's going to put this little bindi on my forehead. And when you go to an Indian temple, this is what they do first. Why? Because they want you to open up your third eye. So you are going to do that to me as if my third eye is not open yet. Just put it right here. Yes, I'm ready. Thank you. Now this is a temple here. With what David is doing and what the people here in Boulder are, they need temple of consciousness because we are so together in a viewpoint which can bring Boulder as a place to come together and be with the world in a way. The people who are here in Boulder, I think that they have understood some of the things that needs to be brought out to a world level. Understanding, and that brings me to 3 things. Why we are saying we are one is 3 instincts that human beings have. Survival, creature comforts, and quest for self. Now survival brings food into the picture, because without food we cannot survive. And that has made me aware of other needs, other functions that we all do as human beings. What are those? How we are together or one in our approach to understanding who we are. The quest for self, understanding who we are. So I will throw some ideas and the theoretical framework which brings 5 functions that we do as humans all over the world that brings us being one. We are one. What are those 5 functions? Food, rest, work, sex means progeny. You are bringing progeny to this world. We are expanding. And the last but not the least is mind, what we think. So these 5 functions, if we have like used, abused or misused, we know that it makes us unfit in a way that we are not able to function well in the society. Food is an integral part. It's one of the elements that, or one of the functions that we do. Food, when we overindulge or neglect or abuse in a sense, it will show in our body. And that brings me to 10,000 years of research that India has really practiced and has made into a way of life. It's called science of Ayurveda. Veda means science. Ayur means the science of longevity. And food becomes the integral part of how long we are going to live. Because it is a means to survive, make us healthy and happy and contented. That's why I am bringing the co-op here, because we are serving organic, local as much as possible, and bringing the community together. Just like even the artist, that Fringe has brought many years of art and music and everything. But if we are not healthy, if we are not eating good food, it will have some disturbance or it will show in the body. And this is what the balance teaches. The idea of balance versus imbalance is taught in the practice of science of Ayurveda. And I really bring that issue because Ayurveda is not just the food, but there are 3 pillars that creates this quest for self, finding out when your stomach is full, when our needs are taken care of. Our evolution really brings us to understanding who are we? Who are we as human beings? I think that quest of self happens when you are 10 years old or 20 years old or 60 years old. It is a human evolution that brings us to this question, who am I? What is my purpose? Well, Ayurveda answered that question by going and probing into who am I, the question, because that really connects us to the higher source, the mana, the prana, the one source. Well, India has offered not only this question and answer to that, but a process how one became many. How the consciousness lives in all of us and manifests into all the manifestations that we see in the world. Because it is the one source becoming many. And this is the essence of Ayurveda, and it is directly connected to food, because food will impact those 5 functions that I just mentioned. Well, what are the sources of food? Well, it's not just the food, but the air, the water, the isotopes from the middle of the earth, from the top, it all feeds us. And if we are attuned with that, I think we are able to really use it to our own health and well-being. So the mind-body connection is complete with understanding who we are and asking the question and getting the answer, because the answer is within. Why meditation practice is so important. Now I want to know how many people meditate who are in this room. Beautiful, beautiful. This is Boulder. Boulder at its best. Meditation, well, I think that you don't have to just be under a tree and give trouble to yourself, the weather and hunger and things like that. To me, meditation is reducing the mind frequency. That brings me to the 5 functions again, to the mind. Reducing the frequency of your mind from beta to alpha to theta to delta. Delta is totally the ecstasy, the nirvana, the nirvikalpa samadhi, where mind ceases to exist. Right now we are having fun, we are having music, and we are together. We are in beta wave. If we just sit down and just relax, listen to music or taking a little walk in the park, in the jungles, you are immediately going into the alpha wave. When you are in alpha, the inner self really brings out the best in you because the noise is out. You are going within your own mind, calming your mind, reducing the frequency. The more you do it, you are able to really tap into the alpha to theta to delta. That's when we are as one. Because then we are getting in touch with that one source. And one source is nothing but the prana, which is pervading everywhere and it creates this manifestation. So when you understand this quest for self, understanding who we are, I think it brings us to the big question of how do we connect to the real one source that we are all made of. Meditation, art, dance, having that oneness with the nature, with everything that exists in this universe. It's a challenge, but we are planting a seed today, this evening. It's a very auspicious evening, and what David has really made this community come together under that art agenda. I think it is marvelous because that's a very good approach to understanding our own creativity that brings us to the creativity that he was talking about. When you understand all these aspects, we are one. And I really feel that we need that in the world right now to make our everyday existence becoming that one in oneness with the nature. I would love to open the floor to really ask questions, any inquiry, any comment, because I think that we are at a very pivotal point in our existence that we really need to ask these questions to really understand how we can bring the community together, how we can be productive in our approach to bring the harmony, peace, love, contentment, all the good stuff that brings the individual peace into the world peace. It can be any aspect of this that brings you in touch with your inner self to connect with the outer world. Now, I would say my time is how many minutes we are left?
Your time is just beginning.
Oh my gosh.
Your time. I just want to ask a question to kind of to both lead us into the night, into what we're doing here, and also just a point of clarity in terms of what you're coming out of this. You're talking about something that's very essential for all of us, and I think that that you've come from a very specific place tonight, and we've met under the pretense of kind of looking at cooperative, the co-op market in the community, and seeing what the value of that is in the community.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what that. Well, one thing is what you think that means to us.
Well, I think that again it connects us to what we are is the food, and I think that there are so many food issues. Like in the 60s, the adage was, "You are what you eat." Well, the co-op has moved to add more things to it. It's not just what you are, what you eat, but when, where, how much, with whom, which part of the world. That brings community together. And this is the message I have from the co-op, which brings food and the community, the creativity, the love, the compassion. I think that it binds us all together at a very higher level of our existence. And I would really love to share that if people do not know, I want to know how many people know about that Boulder cooperative market exists in Boulder for last 4 years. Oh my gosh, I'm very, very happy. Boy, you are part of my almost like crusade. That's not the right word, but we are having a resurrection over there because 4 years we have learned many things that we didn't do it right. I think that community is having that kind of a distance because we are learning, we are all learning. And when we invited David to come and share some of his Fringe artists and people who are at the forefront of art in Boulder and the international approach, I think that we can create an international community just under cooperatives. Look at Brazil. Brazil has more than 3,000 cooperatives. It is an age-old idea. Cooperatives are the heart of the community. And here I would invoke a bigger agenda for the whole world and bring Mahatma Gandhi. I come from Western India where Mahatma Gandhi grew up and reached out to the whole world. Invoking his presence brings me to the self-reliance that the communities can develop. And food is really an integral part of it. It's an age-old idea. We are social animals all over the world. I think we want to congregate. We want to really connect with the community through what we do, those 5 functions. And be part of the community is to bring the love and compassion that we need to have. And that brings us to who we are again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
What a curiosity.
Please.
You contemplated the larger world picture and perhaps the larger universal picture and greater spirituality. In your background, belief system, and opinion, what role do you feel evil or otherwise bad guys like George Bush play? Why do they exist?
Well, I think that it is very good question, very deep question. If you look at the whole manifestation that I'm talking about, from one source, how one source became one. Well, I think it brings us to the cause and effect. Cause and effect. And it is, for millennia, it is coming and expanding. It's like entropy. So coming out like somebody like Bush in particular, or even bringing people who have disrupted the societies over the whole existence of humans on planet Earth. It is nothing but cause and effect. So when we face something like that, we have to ask ourselves how we can reduce the intensity of it by understanding our own self and go into the alpha and theta wave to change the course of the action that is yet to come. Past we cannot change, but present can change the future. So I really think that calming our mind and getting into that alpha and theta waves, it reduces the intensity of this evil you are talking about. I think that once we understand this cause and effect, it will start right here. What is the one question that is impacting us in a way that is impacting this cause and effect is the pain. There are 2 things that are very, we can even practice in this moment right now, is not to give pain to self or others in the present or in the future to the mind or the body. You can avoid that cause and effect. Evil and good, or maybe Good, Bad and the Ugly from the 60s or the 70s, Clint Eastwood movies, remember? Good, Bad and the Ugly. Well, I think we can reduce the intensity and we can get better and better at it by meditating and reducing the frequency of our mind. Does that answer your question, sir? Excellent.
Well, Indira, thank you. We have to keep moving the evening on, but thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
I'm merged more with this creative, cooperative concept in the community. Well, it's a lot of C's, isn't it? Creative, cooperative concept in the community. There's just a sense of like what she's saying, I think, or what I'm interpreting from what you're saying, is that we actually have the power to get up and do something about what's happening in the world. And there's no way that we're going to be able to do that unless we think we're free to do that. And both the co-op, the cooperative, is focused on the individual support and individuals going in there to actually have a voice in what it is and to change it and to make it be a component of the community. Where Fringe and the co-op really behaves very similarly is in that. A Fringe festival doesn't jury the work. We don't jury the artwork that comes with the festival. We don't censor any of the artwork, and we're not allowed to get in the way. The point being is that we have to approach what's going on in our culture right now creatively, and we have to approach it ourselves, and we have to be free to do that. Otherwise, we're going to keep being led by the destructivity that's in the world. And so I just want to thank you for being here tonight. And ask you all, and say thank you to all of you for being here to support this and showing up tonight.
Thank you very much.
So we have, we're going to Waylon. Let's see, who we have. Sarah, are you ready? I need and white pieces of paper. You can leave them up here or on here. Anywhere close to the stage would do. Anywhere close to the stage. Sarah? So we're moving into another section of the evening. This is the Elephant Live contingency. Elephant Magazine is a local magazine that's been started here by Waylon Lewis. And he's doing these live events in the community to try and bring the voice of the mindful life into the community. I'm not sure I know what that means, but Waylon's going to explain that to you more. And right now I'd like to introduce a couple of musicians that are in this. We have Sarah and Pierce that are coming up to the stage, and they're making their way here very shortly. And in the meantime, I'm going to look at one of these papers. So we have a questionnaire tonight, just to repeat myself, which I'm going to do a lot tonight. I like to repeat myself because I'm a school teacher, but also because my dad repeated himself a lot, and I'm just destined to repeat myself. It actually serves no purpose in the community to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself. So we have this questionnaire, and I'm going to repeat myself in saying that this questionnaire is a very mini version of the Fringe applications that are due on January 30th. The Fringe applications. If you don't know what that means, you can go to www.boulderfringe.com and find out what that means, because there's a lot of information and I don't want to talk too much up here. But they're basically applications you submit into the festival, who you are. It's basically your name and really basic information about a piece, whether you're a theater actor, a clown actor, whatnot. And you submit that into the festival, and then we host a lottery. We're going to be having a lottery in here 1 month from today. And we actually draw the applications by lottery. And that's how we keep it unjuried and uncensored. We don't have anything to do with the content. It's really the community showing up and bringing out what the best of them is per their opinion. And then once the pieces are in the festival, audiences go online and they rate the pieces that they've seen, and you look at audience reviews, and there's 400 events that happen during the summer in 12 days at 15 venues all over downtown Boulder. It's quite a spectacle if you haven't seen it. So if you're an artist and you're a creative being and you want to put your work in the community, it's a great venue to do that. It's very easy. 100% of whatever money is made from the artwork goes back to the artist, and I mean, what could be more perfect, right? A world that's completely supporting independent art in the community. Ready? I'm going to read this one later. I have a whole section that's dedicated to these and these. Sarah and Pierce,
That's right.
welcome to the stage.
We'll be very brief, and then Elephant Live will have an interview with Sensei. Banjos.
It's actually an incredible honor. It's so almost out of context, it's hard to understand what an honor this is for myself. When I was a little child growing up in Boulder in the very strange circumstances in which I grew up, which as usual I won't go into because I'm really about you and not about me. I had the good fortune as a little child of studying with Shibata Sensei, who's right here. He's the 70-year-old Japanese gentleman warrior. He's the real Last Samurai, not Tom Cruise. So this is first in a series of weekly, or second actually, of Okay, right in my mouth. Second in a series of weekly elephant lives, as we call them. I'm starting to call them Elevision, like you take the T off television. And we're broadcasting it live. You're all, maybe we can pan on the crowd or something. You all are live at IamElephant.com, and 2 people across the world are at this moment watching. So, Brian Patrick over here is the great mind behind that. And we don't have too many other great minds behind Elephant, except for our staff, of course, Lisa, the photographer, and Sarah, who gets to put up with me, and who is the banjo player. And I realize you still can't hear. So without further ado, Kanjuro Shibata Sensei, let's give a warm, very American welcome. It's a joke. I know you're actually 16. So, and again, thanks to David Orlano and the Fringe Fest for having us, at least this once. I'm sure we won't be had back after this, but... So, Sensei, hi. So, I guess my first question for our friends here, for you, is I understand that you teach Judo, Zen archery, or something like that. And what's the point of shooting an arrow at a target again and again and again when I hear that the point is not to hit the target? It's a talk show.
Good day. Good evening. Today, many people coming. Thank you very much. Judo, some people, how many people?
How many of you know what Judo is?
Judoはplusインドのアブヒマンダという言葉です。しかし今語っているとよし、どちらでもいいです。
So he just made a point that actually the roots of Judo are from India and come from the Absurdity mandala, the cleaning of the inside. And he said the point of Judo, you might think it's about hitting the target, but actually hitting the target or not hitting the target, wherever your arrow goes, that's fine.
So I understand you're 20th in line of imperial bowmakers to the Emperor of Japan. If that's correct, what does that mean, and how did you come to be in Boulder, Colorado? I understand you live here much of the time. You can all see the subtitles, right?
Yeah. It's been here almost 30 years.
My son could make sometime Europe this year, maybe coming Europe and
This year, Vermont, Europe, Nova Scotia, California.
弓道はターゲットオンリーではありません。ターゲットシューティング、なんとなく、どうかもわかりません。しかし、ルーサイドのクリーに当たって、でも、ワンハイエム、当たれば当たるほど、 inside good feelings. これもそのスタイルはなるほどにいいです。しかしそれが本当ではありません。
So he was just saying again that the point of Kyudo is deeply cleaning your heart, and that's actually the target of Kyudo, is deeply cleaning your heart, and also cutting your ego. And if you think it's about getting better and better at something and building up your ego, that's not the case. It's actually about cutting your ego. And the same goes for having a good style and just cultivating purely an outwardly good form in Kyudo. That's not the point. The point again is cleaning the inside deeply.
Meditation to say, Zazen, first Zazen, second, Ritzen, Ritzen in Kudo. The third, walking meditation, Zen style. Other countries are all target. 射撃、弓道は、まさに当たらなくてはダメという考え。
So he says you don't become a Kyudo master in one day. In 10 years you take one step, and in another 10 years you take another step. He says that's like all meditation practice. And he said a lot of countries practice archery, you know, and make a big point in their practices of hitting the target or becoming a good archer, but that's really questionable. In the case of Kyudo, it's meditation.
So, Sensei, I've heard you talk about Kyudo as meditation in motion or meditation in action, or moving meditation, maybe you say. And how does that work? Because I think for a lot of us here, obviously we don't do Kyudo. So how does something like Kyudo apply to helping us be a good human being? How is it relevant to our life?
One other translation, sorry from before I forgot. He explained there are 3 types of meditation. There's sitting meditation, there's Ritsuzen, which is standing meditation, and Kyudo falls into that category, and there's also walking meditation. Again, you won't understand this in one day at this point. 10 years, one step, 10 years, second step.
But let me ask about manners, because I know you talk a lot about manners, perhaps because you're in America and you notice that people need to hear about manners a little bit, like myself. So what can we learn from you about manners and how to be a good human being?
So Sensei explained that Trungpa Rinpoche is the person who urged him to stay here, said please don't give up on us and stay and teach. And out of that connection, Sensei composed 3 slogans for Kyudo practice that were from his connection to Trungpa Rinpoche. And the first is to uphold genuine good manners. The second is to be honorable, keep your word. The third is to be loyal. And he just said the third is actually the most important point for human beings. It's actually what makes us human. And he said, even the first point, manners, it's very difficult if you're an animal, dogs or cats. Sometimes they might display it, but it's actually difficult in the animal realm. So he's talking about these 3 points as actually what is possible for human beings. It actually can elevate us out of a sort of dog-eat-dog world.
しかし、皆さんはよく使われると思います。礼儀は正しい。コース、一番ピープルの大切なことです。やはり目上の人、朝、グッドモーニング、おはようございます。当然です。しかし、それもしないんですよ、顔して。遮断、真理を重んじです。約束事は必ず守る。大切なことだとそう思います。3つ、忠説を取るとおりです。それはカントリーの愛を代表しております。愛がなければダメです。2、3、大切なことだと思います。
So all 3 of these are most important points, he says. And the first one, having good manners, he says it's pretty obvious. He thinks you understand what that would mean. For instance, you wake up, you see someone, you say good morning when you see them. He says people actually know this, but they don't practice it anymore. But we know what good manners are, we just need to practice them. Secondly, in terms of keeping your word, this is very basic. If you make a date with your friend, you don't let them down. You don't cancel on your friend, you don't show up late. You actually follow through with your word. That's very powerful, but again, we need to practice it. And the third point, which he says also is a really high quality point, is loyalty. And he says, in fact, this extends to your country. And loyalty is love. It's actually that it starts from love. And you should love your country.
最後に
Sensei wants to sing you a song, which I will tell you is real treat. And this is a traditional Japanese song he asked me to translate briefly. It goes like this. There's one goose, and the goose sends out a love call. And then there are 2 geese, and they call together. Then there are 3 geese. Then 4 and 5 and 6 geese. And then 1 flies away. But then another one comes. And after a while there are many, many geese, and they fly together and form the shape of an arrow in the sky.
では少しやってみます。時間と呼び当願されてがんたれて
Sensei, just to put in a little plug, and this is not something I was asked to do, but it's something we really should check out. On 19th Street in North Boulder is Sensei's dojo, and many geese can fly there in the shape of an arrow. I think on Sundays, is that correct? And Thursdays. And the website is ryokokudojo.org. Zenko.org might be easier to remember. Zenko.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're live, right? Bullshit. Peggy Markel's article has been in there for 4.5 years, and she's amazing. Slow food chef. And here's Sarah and our good pork buddy, Pierce. Because we're going to go straight back to talking, as you all were concerned. Because that's what we like to do at night, go out and listen to people talk. So we're going to grab Peggy Markel and the table. And Peggy's translator, Graham Markel, her son. I don't understand what you're saying. Well, at least our people who elected the least have already left. So Peggy Markel, this is what's that? Oh, my hair. I got out of the sauna, so it's having a peppy night. Thank you, guys. And we're live. So PeggyMarkel.com. You, I understand, do slow food tours in Sicily, Morocco, Tuscany, and you're almost here. And the first thing I wanted to ask is if you have anything up your sleeve that you'd like to jump into. And the second thing I'd love to ask is what is slow food? And speak right into the mic, because I think it's something I'm not doing.
I asked Wayland to get a table because following Sensei's suggestion, manners are really important, especially when you talk about food. So with Wayland's cup on the floor, I thought he needed a table so that he could be properly welcomed and so on. Food is an important thing, and it's not just about the food itself. I loved what Sensei said about your heart. It's really important when people come over that you make them feel welcome. It's as important as the food. And your table should be set. Even if your food isn't all the way ready, you can at least welcome them. They know you're welcome when you walk in the door. And whatever you have then to serve them will come sort of we could say in Italian piano piano, that means slowly. So that would bring me an introduction to slow food.
Thank you. So I think I might start actually by seeing if anyone out here has a question for Peggy, so that it's not just the dumb me show. Does anyone out here have something
What's your
that?
favorite meal you've eaten recently?
What's your favorite meal you've eaten recently?
God, it's like scanning through a computer.
Last 5 days.
The last 5 days? Well, I could say, and I mean this in all honesty, it was a meal in my house that I ate with friends, that I prepared for friends that gathered here under sort of challenging circumstances. A friend of theirs became ill, and they flew in from around the world to be with him, and they wanted to gather somewhere, so they chose my house to gather. And it was an extremely purposeful feeling to be able to cook for them. And so, what did I cook? I made a really sort of strong bean soup that was very nourishing because they came from far away. And anasazi beans. I called it actually an anasazi bean ribollita. Ribollita is a very nourishing soup that they eat in Tuscany that has dark greens and called cavolo nero, and it has beans and it has vegetables. It's sort of like a minestrone bread soup with tomatoes. That's what it is. So it was the situation that made it a good meal for me.
I think that's why, for me personally, and I'm a bachelor in the most cliche of senses. I am an environmentalist, so I have my organic frozen pizza, and I eat standing up in the kitchen my barely washed organic apple. But that's about as good as I get, and I've known Peggy for years, and she's tried to work with me, and I really haven't improved. But what I have really appreciated, and why I think Peggy is really an amazing figure, and I feel very like it's a pleasure to be able to introduce her to more people, is she's the ultimate sort of hostess, and I think there's a sort of magic. Slow food is really about community, about tradition, about Saturday morning going to farmers market and knowing the farmers and knowing where your food came from and having an actual relationship from beginning to end. And slow food started in Europe as a reaction against what we call fast food. When McDonald's moved into France or Italy, now I'm going off right to her territory. But what is amazing with her is one time I was over at her house, and I tell this story, I just told it last night actually, and I was, all about me, and I was moody, and I'm part Scottish, so I was in a bad mood, and it was, I was being a little boy wanting attention, and no one, of course, wanted to pay attention to me as usual. But it's a dinner party, and having one person like that brings down the whole atmosphere. And seeing how she related, many of us, we still operate in junior high, and where if someone's uncool and in the corner and being awkward, we ignore them. We try and stay far away from them like they're kryptonite. And we focus on the cool people, the guy with the collar up and the coiffed blonde hair and the girl who wears pink and looks shallow and happy. Those are the people we want to hang out with. But the nerdy boys all alone, we don't pay attention to them. Peggy is the opposite. She actually focused in on me until I kind of opened up and relaxed and stopped bringing the whole energy down. And every one of her dinners has this really, it's like one of those J. Crew catalogs. Everyone's just hanging out, kind of loving life, and nothing's happening. So back to you.
That's too kind. But, that is definitely part of it, and I think that is the spirit of feeding people. Not only just with food, but with the situation, with your home, and if you see somebody who's really not doing well, the whole purpose of having people there is for them to feel well. And so if you can focus on that person and sort of raise the mood down a little bit with that person, then everybody else is happy too. Your situation, your experience is going to be much nicer. Because there really is something that your time together that does come from your heart. And so then if everyone can really relate to each other and be fed and sort of feed each other also, that's like peace and love, but it's sort of true. But the quality of food, the quality of experience is paramount, fundamental.
So we have a question.
I was just going to ask if you worked at all with like starving nations, if you did any work or dealt at all with world hunger.
If you do any work with world hunger or starving nations, or do you just think about your yuppie little Italian thing?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds nice what you're saying. I mean, it sounds wonderful, but there's also people who don't do it at all.
It's really true. I mean, there's many levels to food, and you know, when you start from the base of a certain culture, and you're trying to, at least my focus has been on trying to connect mostly Americans back to something that at least is some ground from which they can connect back to themselves. So that's sort of as base as I've been able to get. There are percentages of what we do. We try to give back to the community. And certainly in Morocco, there's a girls' school called Dar el Alam that's in the Eureka Valley, about an hour north of Marrakesh, where we try to at least support what the girls are doing in their girls' school for their education and for their gardens so that they can feed themselves. World hunger is a huge, huge, huge nut that I haven't necessarily been able to crack in the sense of where I'm going with my work, but I would like to, more so. And I support what's called Vitamin Angels. Have you heard of Vitamin Angels? Vitamin Angels actually feeds, at this point, just vitamins, but in large quantity and very good quality to children who are going blind and have been affected by natural disasters, etc., etc. So there's really a lot more that I could do. Good question.
And the Vitamin Angels thing, she's a humble lady, unlike some people we know. The Vitamin Angels, literally, children who don't get a certain nutrient for 2 years do go blind or get rickets or whatever it is. I knew some more about it 2 years ago when we published an article on it, and I've forgotten most since. And Graham back here, Peggy's son, also works with Vitamin Angels and made that article happen. But it's amazing work, and they procure donations from large companies like Wild Oats, etc., and they literally ship like trunks full of these essential nutrients that are completely lacking in what. But as we know, I think the food situation has a lot more to do with politics and corruption and war than a lack of food. There's, you know, something like there's 30 times more food available that's trashed every year. You know, farmers are paid not to cultivate their fields and things. It's really, and a lot of aid gets sent that doesn't reach the people who need it. So, you know, I think people obviously need to do what they're doing and do more. But I see a lot of yogis and yoginis and elephant types and integral Zen-y Buddhist geeky types and co-op types. So I would love some questions out of left field or right field for Peggy. Don't be shy. You're live. Well, you're not very live, Lee. But, yeah. Oh. Sorry, I must be a little desperate. You must have itched your shoulders. Yes? Correct.
Certainly, it's very dry around here, but I deal with that myself all the time. There's issues.
Repeat the question.
Repeat the question. What foods should a person eat here in Boulder, Colorado, where it's really dry in the wintertime? Well, certainly you need to take more liquids. I think we don't drink enough water. All of us probably don't drink enough water here. We drink a lot of either tea or coffee, maybe even alcohol. I don't know, but that's definitely pretty hydrating. So drinking a lot more water is certainly a good idea. But you know, in the form of soups is, I think, the most wonderful. I can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, really strong foods to eat in the winter would be like root vegetable stews, you know, and lots of dark green vegetables, you know, because that's also good for your blood. And I really do love. Like for instance, you know, we're able to find like celery root and like celery root, potato leek soup. You know, those are vegetables that are in season. So those are the things that I really enjoy. You know, from a may sound more vegetarian, but you know, not that I have any prejudice against eating other kinds of food, meat, etc. You know, but as far as eating foods that can hydrate the body, soups are definitely words I love it.
So I think Indira from the co-op, you had a question?
Thank you for the time. I think that this is a beautiful evening. We are talking about meditation and food and how we can connect with ourselves with food is one of the functions that we do. I have a question that how do you relate or how you combine food and spirituality?
Is that question for me or?
For both.
Would you like to answer that one? How do we combine food and spirituality? Well, they're one and the same for me. I mean, you know, it depends on what you're into. But when I think of, you know, what raises my life force, certainly I think of good food, and we're going to start with the ground of that. And it's a very centering process. It's also, it's a very creative process. It makes me happy. It makes me happy because then I'm not only caring about what I'm doing for myself, but to be of benefit to others, and to be fed and to feed others. And I said that before, as far as, you know, really coming from your heart. It's a practice. Cooking for me is like a practice, like meditation or anything else. And so I enjoy what results I get from that.
So I think that's about all we have time for, and now we're going to get back to what the Fringe does best, which is whatever comes next. But I do very much want to thank you all for, and especially David Orlando, as I now call him, David Orlando, and the good folks at Fringe and Laughing Goat Cafe for hosting us, and PeggyMarkel.com for visiting, and of course Kunjiro Shibata Sensei. That was a crazy honor. I just wanted to end with one last thought. Normally in our Elephant Lives we have a couple hundred people, and maybe even more than that, and we have music at the end, and we all get silly, and we have an expo in the beginning, and it's a big circus. Here we're just doing sort of the talk show thing, and we're kind of workshopping that week after week. We're going to do our next one next Thursday. And you can check IamElephant.com if you are interested. But I was just in the sauna hanging out with Ted Rose, who's somewhere here. And before that I was talking with Dave Rogers, actually, formerly of The Onion, who works with Brian Patrick and others of us, and Peggy Markel last night. And I was saying that my favorite thing, I don't really pay attention to People magazine or magazines like that, but I read recently that Brangelina, that Brad and Angelina Jolie were asked when they were going to get married, and they said they were not going to get married until all people in the U.S. had the right to get married. And I was pretty impressed by that. Not impressed enough to go see Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I just want to end with that thought, that we're in a country, I've been watching Ken Burns' series on baseball, we're in a country where we effectively have the Negro Leagues when it comes to civil unions and spousal rights. And while I've never probably preached and converted more than I am at this very moment in the Laughing Goat Cafe in Boulder, Colorado, I think it's something that we can all get active on and kind of get engaged on, and talk with those who might have very intelligent reasons why they might feel differently. And if you feel differently, I think, you know, I'd invite you to engage in dialogue with all those knee-jerk liberals like yours truly. So thank you very much, and we've been live.
Thank you, man. Oh, yeah, it was that cable getting stuck under the stage again. I'm gonna just wander over. Well, Still finds his way to the stage. Where's Still? Is he still here? Did anyone see that coming? Come on, did anyone see that coming? There he is. And I have and Baruna is down the hallway, and she has something she wants to share with us.
I'm writing amazing personal ad. Terrible. Baruna. Silly rock. Baruna, squishy rock of a woman, singing. Squishy. That's a part of this. It looks firm, but actually it's very squishy. It's like a metaphor for all the parts of me. Oh, my heart is squishy. It's why I'm writing this ad. It's very squishy, and even if not everybody can get married, I still want squishy rock, squishy rock. Yes, two sides of the same person. Squishy rock. Squishy rock of a woman. Go. Seeks somebody. Body, boom! Body, boom! Boom! Somebody. There. To satisfy my intense physical needs. I feel it's important to say what you're really looking for. So they're intense and they're physical. For example, a lot of boobs would be good. Boom! 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 But not this kind of boom. Must be able to interpret what I need at all times. Perfect. Must cook a lot. It's a physical need. But I'm not fat. Must be kind and tolerant of a myriad of bodily functions. Should not
you're cute. You can do it. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so cute.
But only when we want. When I want.
Okay. If you're not cute, oh, we can still have a kissy. Oh, but I never asked. Sorry.
You have to be honest.
Because if you want to fast and you kiss it, you have to get the right angle and everything like that. And finally, you get the right angle so that they're not hitting him and not hitting. Then, oh, and then if it's really good, you get all foggy. And then you open your clothes and everything's foggy, you can't see anything. And you're like, are you there? Where'd you go? Are you there? Wait, don't leave me, don't go, don't leave. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I don't want to be alone. Don't want to be alone. So call me.
In touch with us. I know there's probably a lot of information that you're hearing tonight, but there's an easy way to keep in touch with us. There's actually a sign-up list at the table back here. Wow, this is incredible. It's like a science experiment. So there's a sign-up list at the table back here, and please make sure you get on it because there's so many things that are happening in the context of the Fringe. There's so many things that are happening on the fringe of me right now, and there's so many things that are happening on the fringe of this town, and on the fringe of the world, and we have a mailing list so we can keep you informed. And still, how much time? 5. Wow. So, how you guys doing tonight? I'm just gonna sit down. And what are you saying? Oh, you want to sit? We're sitting so that we don't get in the way of this projector. By the way, the projector is the star tonight. That's the. And Dana is playing a supporting role to the projector. You're gonna have to project. So she's going to ask, I guess we're going to go through a couple of these questions now. So, oh, there's another thing that I forgot. I forgot one thing. Did anyone fill out upcoming events? Does anyone here have an event that's coming up that they want to just put out there? All right. Well, if you do, yeah, thanks. If you have an event that you want to put up here hold this. There are forms at the back table. Part of the style of this event is actually to not only see little excerpts of what people are doing in the community, but it's also designed for them to say, or for people to say what's going on for them too. So if you have an event coming up, a party, a performance, an art opening, a new store that you just opened, an old store that you're just opening, feel free to, there's little forms back there that the lovely Eve Berman is holding up. And feel free to fill one of those out if you want to make an announcement tonight. And I'll plug those in the next half hour. Okay, so what do we got?
Where do you originate?
Who's this? As well. Okay. Where do you originate? The cosmic all. There's an origination. Who out there knows where the cosmic all is? Where's that? To the right.
Yeah. Well, not metaphorically.
Did I hear somebody say it was near New Jersey? Thank you. We should be able to find it now. Okay, what is it? What? What color shoes does your theater wear?
Aqua blue.
Blue?
Aqua blue.
Aqua blue. Okay. If you had $6, what would you buy?
Two chais from Laughing Goat, one for me and one for David or Delon.
Who's that? Oh, that's kind of cute. Okay. Why does your hair?
Because I eat my crust.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone? Questions? Wow, that's really funny. Okay, why do birds suddenly appear every time you are here?
Why not?
It's good. It's profound. It's very deep. If you had $6, what would you buy?
A Fringe festival ticket.
Wow, Fringe festival ticket. Are they just $6? Is that it?
I think they're between $8 and $25.
Alana, is that true?
No.
Okay, so just to make this really brief announcement and to close, I just wanted to let everyone know that that's not true. We won't announce that until, you have to go to the website to find out. So without further ado, we have Still. And some of this, when you take notes, you come up with titles. This is called The Game of Games. Still, everyone, still.
Once upon a time, when I was a little boy, 7 years old, I went camping in the mountains. Moving can be tough. And at night, while glaring at the Milky Way, this song came to me. All my life, this song has been with me, under my breath. When I got older and started digging ditches for a living, it was there. When I was alone, quiet, it might visit me. The tune resounds deep in my core and is the embrace of a true home. It is only now that I share this song openly. For now, I have cause. After the night of the Milky Way, my life exploded into a myriad of bizarre, mystical events that serve to continually startle and shatter my view of the world. Something always nudged me away from the ordinary. This unfolding eventually led to numerous, powerful, crisis, chrysalis opening metamorphosis. After I woke up and realized I was from somewhere else. I realized I had learned this song well before I was 7. In the most real but bizarre fashion, I found I originally came from a planet known as Planet Boulder. There was more than just the song. I remembered Bentar itself, and how it all began. Bentar was fun, colorful, wild, and beautiful. One fateful and glorious day on Bentar, while hiking in some lonely and beautiful mountains, in the fragrance of the whisker trees, some friends and I made a monumental discovery. After years of searching, we had uncovered a long-lost portal the ancients spoke about in the legends. A portal, people persons, to another world! The portal's official name was inscribed in stone above the entrance. The ancients feared to speak its name aloud, referred to it only as the portal. They warned, never go near it. They claimed if you were to enter the portal, it would be like eating a sweet but poisonous plant. Once inside, you would forget Bentar. You would forget your friends. You would forget who you really were. enter a place of meaningless, fantastic frenzy that would end in confusion and sorrow. The ancients said that whoever would enter the portal and go to the other world would remain there permanently, unless you could crack the code, unless you could be persistent enough and clear enough to find an antidote to the poison. They considered it a game. Look, a group of them would enter the portal together to find out who could be persistent enough and clear enough to find their way back. It was agreed who should ever find their way back first would find a way to assist the others by setting out a signpost to trigger their memory of Bentar, by encouraging them to break the poisonous spell of the other world. Many Bentarians from ancient times that entered the portal were never seen again. This is why the portal was hidden away. Those who did make it back, however, wrote extensively that it was the ride of their lives. This is what inspired us to hunt for this treasure. People persons. The game of games! The game of games. My friends and I were young and daring, and on that fateful and glorious day, we entered the world together. I am not afraid to speak the name of the portal inscribed in stone above the entrance. It is one you will easily recognize. The name of the portal was Portal Earth. And the name of the game was Earth Game. I am here today as a signpost for my friends. Perhaps someday some of you will see, and you will remember Bentar, You will remember your friends. You will remember where you really are. Friend, do you remember? Friend, do you remember? Friend. Perhaps this will remind you. Forest. Have you walked in the forest and climbed its trees? Mountains. Have you been to the mountains and climbed its peaks? Ocean. Have you been to the ocean and sunk your toes in the sand and immersed yourself in the water? Prairie. Have you been to the prairie and seen the grasses blow in the wind? Desert. Have you been to the desert? And listened in the desert? This, my friends, this is the antidote to poison.
Still, wow. Wow. So, what is this thing called?
This is my spaceship.
Spaceship. So, so what?
By the way, my machine is using electricity.
Is this part of a larger body of work that you're doing?
Yes, it is.
What is that? Like, where?
This is part of the 49-hour show.
Hold on. Where are you from? Where are you? I mean, did you come up from Denver, or you live in Boulder, or do you? No, you're in Boulder, and you're going to be doing a show based on this
Yes.
work,
Yes.
this body of work. And so, is that anytime soon? Should we do? Is there any way we can know about that?
It's in progress.
It's a work in progress. So, do you want to get feedback right now?
Absolutely.
So, just if anyone could just go, come on, actually do this with me. Just. So thank you. So there was some feedback for the work, and thank you for coming up tonight and showing, and you know, and this is still, how do they get in touch with you to find out where you're doing your show?
Actually, the lovely lady with the green scarf here has some CDs and information, and I've just put her on the spot.
CDs, information, and put it on the spot.
I have a CD that's called The Game of Games.
He has a CD that's called The Game of Games.
It has some rather ethereal music on it.
That has some rather ethereal music on it. Well, thank you. So I have some hands that are coming up here. Hands? Hands? Well, you can give those hands. There's hands that can help us transition. And then there's hands that can help us transition. Thank you. Thank you still. Let's see, what do we... Uh-oh. Help? Baruna? Here. Baruna. Where's Phil? Phil? Phil, Baruna. I'm learning a new language. Okay.
Nobody has called yet. And I feel like eating still. But I can't move. It's like it's all stopped up or something. It's like there's too much stuff. It's like there's too much inside and like I can't move. And I just need to let go of it. Ow! Can't poop. Ooh, maybe if I had just a little bit more food, it'll help me jumpstart. Any naturals, organic, horseradish, mustard. Mustard is my favorite. Mustard, 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 mustard. Ooh, mustard! It's perfect! It's your mustard. But it is very unwise to use a fork with mustard. Ow! It's starting to move around. It's perfect. It's starting to move.
Can you come back out here? Honey, come here. So, I have a question for you. I mixed up my microphones. That one's, you can borrow this for a second. Yeah. How does it taste? Oh. So you have a, Baruna, you have a show coming up soon, right?
No.
Oh, good. So how can we not go to that show?
Well, every day, and when you wake up, you can make a very conscious decision to not see a Boulder show.
Okay, and when wouldn't it be happening if it wasn't to happen?
If there
if
weren't
it
going to be a
was?
show, maybe possibly it would begin sometime around the 5th month of the year. But no one has really taken any steps to really instigate that sort of process yet.
And so, if somebody here wanted to go on a date with you,
Yes?
how would they go about doing that? How would they get in touch with you?
It's not so hard, really. First they would kiss me right here. And then they would say, oh, Baruna, you're so strong. And I would say, I know. And then they would say, Baruna, would you like to go on a date with me? And I would say, let me think about it.
Did everyone get that? So are there any takers? Come on. No, come on. Go.
Right? That's step 1. Oh, I know. I will think about it. Look at my glasses on. I can't think. Is she cute? Yes. Okay, yes, we can do it. Now?
Are you talking to me?
Well, it's your idea. Do I have your permission?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want.
You take the fork. I'll take the spoon. And we can spoon. Come on. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give Baruna a round of applause. Thank you, Baruna. And Phil. This is Phil. This is Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil.
Thank you, David. As a child, as a youngster, I watched a lot of cartoons on the telly. And recently I was thinking about one of these cartoons. Does everyone remember the Roadrunner by chance? It wasn't one of my favorite cartoons, but it had a funny little theme, something like, well, if you're on the road and the Roadrunner goes beep beep. And I thought, that's pretty catchy and country, and I'm really into country music, so I created this song. And David, it's track 1 on the CD, but before I begin, it was pretty cool. I got a hold of Wiley Coyote. I was like, Wiley, I'm working on this new song, and I need something extra. I need something to kind of root it down. And so he came over last night, actually, very conveniently, and penned a little rhyme for me, which has worked really nicely in the funky bridge of the song. It's in the form of a letter to all of us. To whom it may concern, yeah, I'm that cartoon coyote you might have seen on your TV, chasing that little earthbound bird with all my gadgetry. I know you laugh and snicker at my failure and defeat. I'm just a worn-out desert predator looking for a bird to eat. I'm hungry, and I'm mad. Now I know what you're thinking, why don't I just let it go? But can't you see I'm trapped inside this rerun TV show? And I know it's kind of crazy, just like an ancient myth. I'll be chasing that bird to the end of time, in sync with that country riff. Yours sincerely, Wiley Coyote. P.S. Roadrunner, I'm coming after you. Wiley Coyote. Alright, so here it is, specially prepared for the crab. bird, watch it run all bird. Doesn't really matter what the coyote thinks. Roll around, the coyote's after you. Roll around, it'll get you see you through. Roll around, you're our favorite cartoon bird. Roll around, you're so fast it is absurd. Roll around, the coyote's after you. Roll around, when it catches you. I'm a roadrunner, try to catch me if you can. There I go, a real go-getter, perhaps the fastest in the land. Here I am, I'm a roadrunner, trying to catch me. There I go, a real go-getter, perhaps the fastest. In about 1.5 milliseconds, I'm gonna race that man-made train. Flip my tail down, off I spin. Catch me in the pit. There I go, a real go-getter, perhaps the fastest. This time I'd like to introduce to the stage Mr. Wiley E. Coyote, use your imagination, here we go. These hands and birds are birds, all my ridiculous. Laughing sick, and I feel it. I'm just going out there, he's hungry. Why can't I let it go? But yes, I'm trapped inside this reborn TV show. And I know it's kinda crazy, just like an ancient myth. I've been chasing up birds and spending time and seeing the country with you. That man-made train. Flip my tail down, off I spin. The faster I get, the harder it tries. the whole reason I'm here. I'll be playing here a week from tomorrow night, Friday the 26th, so please come out.
Yeah!
And I'll be doing a lot more of this kind of crazy original music. Thank you.
With other things in town here as well. Can I ask you a few questions? You're doing a show here next week, you said?
Hey Emily, can you bring up the it's 2 or 1. One of the 2.
Right now, that's the one. So yeah, you're playing here next week.
I will be here next Friday, yes.
And you're doing a solo show.
Solo.
Oh, a solo show. Look at that. And you're also working with some 13 things?
Yes, I am a founding member of Theater 13, a new theater company in Boulder. And
what is Theater 13?
Theater 13 is the resident theater company of the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art, right next to the Tibetan Tea House in lovely downtown Boulder.
Representing the height or the peak or the pinnacle or the penultimate experience in theater in Boulder. And it's something that's going on. You're mid-season right now, right?
We're mid-season, and we've got a couple exciting things coming up. The Deer and the Antelope play will be opening February 15. Thank you, Dana Hema.
It sounds like there's a knowledgeable person in the crowd.
The newest member of Theater 13. You got her, baby. And then we are producing a piece from an outside company, which is based on Leonard Peltier's prison writings, which should be provocative, political, and we're really proud to be able to produce this 5th show in what would have been a 4-show season. And then we'll culminate the season in April with an original created show, which should have lots of clowning and red noses and stuff.
You're going to birth the show. You're going to give birth to it.
I am not personally. I'll be adding noise, but Sheshti Webb will be directing and co-creating.
So if just this is totally hypothetical. If I were like just wandering down the street and I was thinking, okay, I want to, that guy that was at the Laughing Goat at the C.R.A.B that night. What was his name? If I was trying to figure out who you were or where I could get in touch with this Theater 12, Theater 14, whatever it was, how could I kind of stay in touch and how could I get reminded of that?
Well, if you ran into me personally, I would be happy to give you my personal card with my number and email on it. But the...
Varuna? Sorry.
But bmocha.org online has a theater section, and all of our scheduling and information and bios are at the bmocha.org site.
bmocha.org. or see Phil on his way out tonight and get a illustrious card from him.
Yes.
And thank you, Phil, for being here.
Thank you, David, as always.
Great summit. Thank you. Luis is stepping up here and he's getting his little video all set. I would just like to, Yeah, just start. So could I get everybody up out of their seat for a second? We've been sitting for a while. I know this is it seems a little weird, but just get up out of your seat for a little while. For a few seconds. Very strange. And put your right foot in. And put your right foot out. And put your right foot in. And shake it all about. Okay, put your left foot in. And put your left foot out. And put your left foot in and shake it all about. And then put your right hand up. And your right hand down and your right hand up. And then shake it all around. And say hi to everybody. Say wave to people next to you. And now wave to them with your left hand. And say, hi. Hi, Boulder, coming out to see independent art at its best. Hi, Boulder. And thank you so much for being here tonight, you guys. It's really great house tonight. And there's a lot of really wild stuff, and I'm glad you stuck it out and you're staying to see the final acts. I just also want to emphasize that next month, 1 month from today, next month, we are doing the public lottery, and the event is in here, and it's absolutely free. We're going to have musicians and acrobats and Sven, and we're going to draw the names from for the lottery for the Fringe this year. So please come out and check that out, because it's really the beginning of what the Fringe year looks like, and it's a pretty odd and interesting event. So it's 1 month from today. It's the 3rd Thursday of February, and it is, I think, the 15th. Anyone? 15th? Anyone? 15th? 15th. So now are we ready? Yeah, and you got the sound, and we have the video, and I have the lights. See that we're a whole production company. So do you want to announce something? Do you want to say something about it? What is it? It's a trailer, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So here, I'll let you say something about it.
Good night. This trailer of Don Juan's Diary. It's my first full-length fiction film that we've been doing for 2 years. It takes place in Boulder. We are about to finish very soon. Hopefully we're going to be showing on April. I'm not sure where yet, but probably at the Boulder Theater, maybe at CU. And I'm working with David to show it at Narota. So I don't have a schedule yet, but just keep your eyes open, and yeah, that's it.
You must find real love.
What is real love?
I like him. He seems like a romantic guy, but it's hard to believe that somebody can propose to a stranger. I mean, it's so unreal. I didn't get the part about subconscious, deja vu, Chinese. I mean, I'm not good with parallel realities. Actually, I think the guy who's saying this on the street is just trying to pick up women.
I think it sucks. When I'm in a cafe, I'm usually studying or working. I definitely don't like to be disturbed.
This guy might put so much energy into a sexual relationship, it's like he could kill someone.
I would sue a guy like that. Somebody who's lying to take advantage of a situation, who's disrespecting your own personal space.
He's got so much love, such deep love, it's totally out of control.
Actually, I don't really know anything about him at all, even though we see each other almost every day.
It's funny, you know, somebody you've never met just comes up to you and gives you his cell phone and tells you he's gonna call you. I mean, somebody who does that has to be pretty naive and gullible, or I don't know, maybe just hasn't adapted that well in society yet.
Anyways, I like him and I know that he's a good guy.
I mean, who would take a risk with somebody like that? I wish I could get to know him better.
So you say you wanna go for a ride. Go for a ride, so baby now let's cruise. Yeah, the wind is coming through, yeah, all the time. Slowly
So, did you say something about when you're going to try to release it? In April? And you're going to release it here? In Boulder. So let me ask you the award-winning question of the night. If I wanted to see something really cool, and it looked kind of like that, how would I go about doing it? No, how do I get in touch with you if I need to watch this film? If I really need to, because it's like coursing through my blood, the images from tonight. I came to the Laughing Goat and saw the crab, and it was just like...
Well, you can either send my mail, that's garagefilms@yahoo.com, or just talk to me. I'm going to be around for a while. You can just come and talk to me if you guys want to know more information about it.
Well, thank you very much, Luis. Luis, he came all the way from Brazil just to do that, to do what he does best. So great, so thank you, Luis. And I was actually just talking about his shin. He has shins. They're the front part of his legs. And they're the lower section of his legs, in case you guys were wondering what I meant by that. Actually, there was a woman that was going to play with him tonight, and he got stood up, and I'm giving him a cable. I'm going to try to be really subtle right now, Emily. I'm giving him a cable that's plugged into a ghost cable floating above my head. And it's going to be grabbed by the musician behind me, magically. And then it gets plugged into his guitar. And then it's muted so it doesn't go... Is that good? Are we in? We're in. Can we hear him? Can we hear you? Your guitar? Alright, so I'm going to pass this over to Ryan. Hold on.
Okay. I'm Ryan Madsen. Today, a song. I was supposed to be accompanied by a pianist named Shenandoah Davis. She would be playing with me. But we canceled that plan. Had a couple songs lined up, thought about it. Then throughout the set, as I've been inspired by these artists that have come up here, done amazing things, blown my mind, I've changed my opinion about what song I should play about 4 times now. But I think I've arrived at this song. And it's called Drive With Your Eyes Closed, which is a terrible idea. But it's a weirder song. It originated from my attempt to write a song that really had no key. It had no straight time signature. It moves all over the place. But this is what came of it. Finding the shape of fiber. So hold on tight to the mind's alive. Drop the truth to the end. Not until we move. me right. I see the stars going by as I blink and come to life. It's not wise to drive with your eyes alone. Loved if we don't see the hand we haven't played, the chance that we take, and the way they change the day. But our daily life we see, we forget we're on the right, and our money's like comes in the form of flowers and traffic tickets, minimum wage and the sound of crickets. It's not wise to drive with your eyes closed. Oh, and so I watch the blurring trail of the things I see around me. The bet I hold, yes, it's landsable, but I know they are moving. And past my window frame, as I find the world and travel the truth to the edge. It's not wise to drive with your eyes closed.
Brush your teeth this morning.
Yeah.
That you may play another song. Cool. We want to hear another song? You guys mind?
This song's called Lullaby. From leaving you cold and thin, you float away to leave you cold. You pull the sheets around and through your legs and then you roll. But a chill has filled the space between the sheets and around your face. You won't let go or leave your side. It just goes to show that you cannot hide. So So you get up out of bed, a glass of milk might clear your head, but still the chill is on your skin. You're like a cherry blossom in April, frostbitten in a blade snow this spring. And the blue jay sings in morning. For you the blue jay sings a sleepy song.
You've done a fine job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so how do we find you? How do we get in touch with you if we want to listen to your music more regularly?
1-900-Music. I've got a selection of websites that you can take a look at. I'll be playing at the Laughing Goat a week from this Sunday, the 28th, with Shenandoah Davis, hopefully. And you should check that show out. We're gonna start around 7:30 or so.
So a week from this Sunday, not this Sunday.
Not this Sunday.
But a week from it. Not, and by the way, when we say a week from this Sunday, that means in the forward direction. Like if you go a week from this Sunday backwards, you end up last Sunday and you miss it.
Yeah.
So, just so you know, you'll need to go forward from Sunday.
As well, I have 2 CDs that I have with me this evening, so talk to me if you'd be interested. That's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah. And I'm going to make a little plug for Baruna. She decided that after all, not only can you kiss her on the cheek, but you could also take one of her business cards if you wanted to get in touch with her. Baruna. And let me just, I want to explain to you what these business cards are. They're the representation. Business cards represent people in a business way. I'm sorry, I get confused about things that I'm trying to say. She's an aerialist. That's an aerialist. That means she does things up there. And she says, I also do acrobatics, climbing, juggling, trampoline, and stilt walking. We saw her climbing tonight.
And private Pilates instruction.
And private Pilates instruction. That doesn't say it on here. She doesn't do private Pilates instruction. So that's Baruna, otherwise known as Olivia. There's business cards. She's leaving them on this table right here, if anyone wants to get in touch with her. And last but not least, it is fun.
Okay. You can hear me. Well, I wanted to tell you about this woman that I've been been chasing unsuccessfully. She tells me she likes me as a friend, but she doesn't find me physically attractive. I said, wrong answer. You never say that to a guy. What you say is, you're the ruggedly masculine, handsome type, which I'm just not really into. I like the more softer, feminine men, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? You're kind of more the Tom Selleck type, which I'm just not into that. And if you've had sex with a guy and you want to end the relationship, you always tell him that his penis is too big for you. So, a year ago, though, a woman was chasing me. That was the worse that I was chasing me, the harder she chased me. You know, for example, one night she was suicidal and calls me and says she's taking all the food out of her refrigerator and she's going to climb in and kill herself, right? And I said, are you sure you'll fit? I mean, do you have one of those refrigerators with a double door? So I had lunch with one of my ex-girlfriends, and she told me that her new boyfriend has introduced her to the BDSM lifestyle. She's really into it, and I said, what exactly does that mean? She said she likes her boyfriend to tie her up and flog her butt. And I said, no way. I mean, this woman is the cutest butt I've ever seen. Yeah? And I said, there's no way I can ever flog her beautiful butt. And then I said, your face, on the other hand. Right. Okay, so then I thought, maybe our relationship would have lasted longer if I bought her some, bondage toys to put in her, like starting with a gang. No. Okay. So I went to eBay and I bought some big leather ankle restraints and big leather wrist restraints, and a week later I got an email from the seller apologizing that he'd been really busy, hadn't had just time to put the package in the mail. I said, no problem, we're tied up with other things. Okay, so she was telling me about 24/7 slaves. You heard about this? These are women that like to do anything their master tells them to do, clean his house, and sex with them whenever he wants. And I said, why would you want to do that? You've already been married, And after she divorced her husband, she got his sports car, to 24/7 slaves get a sports car? Okay, so I told her I'd be performing here tonight, and I invited her to come, but she said she'd rather be tied up and flogged. I don't know, do you think that was an invitation? Okay, that's it.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you a question. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Okay. The thing on my head, I stutter.
The thing on his head.
I stutter, you probably know this, so it's using an anti-stuttering device. Of course, people ask me, why do you not stutter? Why do you stutter when you're wearing the anti-stuttering device and not stutter when you're not wearing it? Because you just ask me the question and I never stutter when people ask me why I stutter.
Well, then, why do you stutter when you're wearing the anti-stutter device, and why do you not stutter when you're not wearing the anti-stutter device?
Because when you ask me about stuttering, I don't stutter. So, Wow. Oh, okay. Would you like to hear a stuttering joke? Okay. Okay, the young man went to a stuttering therapy program on the East Coast. I was wondering what that was.
What's his name? Thomas David Keegan.
Okay. So he's there for 3 weeks. He comes back, and his friends ask him, "How was it?" And he says, "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Friends say, "Wow, that was amazing. You said that completely fluently. You didn't stutter at all." And the stutterer says, "Yeah, but it's really hard to work that into a conversation." Okay, why don't you hear this stuttering joke that Howard Stern refused to let me say on the air? Okay. The stutterer goes to his doctor for his annual checkup. And the doctor says, I just saw the latest issue of the New England Journal of Medicine, and they found the cause of stuttering. It has to do with abnormal fetal testosterone levels. It causes the baby's brain to not fully develop language areas in the brain, you know? And the doctor says, you know, the other thing that abnormally high fetal testosterone levels causes overly large genitalia. So he asks this stutterer to drop his pants, and sure enough, he's well endowed. So the doctor says, well, you know, it's never been done. It probably wouldn't work. There's a chance. If we did a penis transplant and got you a smaller penis, it might improve your speech. And the stutterer says, Doc, I'll try anything. So they go ahead with the operation, and a month later, the stutterer is back in the doctor's office, and he says, well, doctor, I've been completely fluent for a month. I got a promotion at work into head of customer sales. I won the Toastmasters regional competition, and I also I'm working part-time as an FM radio talk show host. And I also was offered a part with Theater 13. But Doc, I have to ask you, is this operation reversible? My self-esteem is terrible. I'm afraid to shout in front of other men, and I suspect my wife has started having an affair. Doc, I have to ask you, can I get my old penis back? And the doctor says, he knows what the doctor says. And the doctor says, no. Wait, deal's a deal.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, Joel. All right, so that's the end of the show. The end of the way out the door. One is do get on the mailing list. Do please get on the mailing list. There's a mailing list right at the table, so you can find out what's going on. There's a lot of really amazing things happening on the Fringe. I have to take advantage of that statement. And also there are T-shirts at the table there. They're really cute. American Apparel, sweatshop free T-shirts. Do we have girls and boys? We have girls and boys. And they're very cute. And I'm actually wearing one right now, but it's so freaking cold out that it's buried under a bunch of clothes. so you can't see how damn sexy it is on me. But you know, those shirts over there at that table are damn sexy. And thank you for coming tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.
Yeah.